All right, get lit, folks. Get lit, right? In the right way, in the right way. Thank you, band. Thank you, vocal team. Didn't they do a great job along with all of our tech people? This was wonderful. I love that ending. I love that ending. It's tremendous. Welcome to this great crowd on our second service today. Welcome. Turn to somebody else and say, welcome today. Don't spit on them or anything. Just say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see all of you here today. And now to our Daybreak Live, we welcome you. Let's welcome them right now. Welcome. Yeah. Last week we had over 4,000 people watching. So wherever you're at, all over the country. And then I'm thinking about Wednesday night. We had a record on Wednesday night. And it may have been, I just know it's Claudia's cooking, but there were over 1,800 people watching Wednesday night. That is so cool. That is so cool. And we're going to, what are we doing Wednesday night? We're going to do Christmas cookies, aren't we? Yeah, Christmas cookies this Wednesday night. And we're still with the Christmas wreath, so you're going to love it. 7 o'clock, Daybreak Live, or on Facebook. But welcome, welcome, welcome to our Christmas service today. We are glad that you're here. You know, I was sitting there thinking as I'm listening to this great music today, and I just feel like, man, it's a gift to us. I was thinking about all the people that have gone from Daybreak, and I'm just touching the surface here. But people that have been a part of Daybreak and are today, as Jeff Mosler was, I thought he was almost preaching a while ago. I wanted to get up and shout. He was so good. I just wanted to say, and I said to him after the first service, I said, Jeff, man, you could preach, brother. I said, that was so good. And I'm thinking right now about Steve Doerr. He used to be a part of our church. He's now up preaching today at Grand Haven. I'm thinking of Wally Harrison over at Walker, who used to be here at Daybreak, and he's pastoring and preaching this morning. I'm thinking of my nephew, John Dupin, who is preaching right now in Lynchburg, Virginia, probably to about 3,000 people. Many of them are students from Liberty. Think about my brother who pastors a Wesleyan church in Salem, Virginia. He's preaching right now. And then I can't forget about my own son who is out in San Ramon, the Bay Area of San Francisco. He is doing something really cool today. They can't go in and do a big worship service like this. They're doing a pop-up Christmas service. They got special permission and they drive by in cars. I can't imagine what all they're doing. But only Clint would be able to pull this off. But they're doing that right now. So along with our Daybreak team, literally thousands of people are being impacted just by Daybreakers, people that have gone from our own church. I just think let's give it up for them today. Say a prayer for them. God bless you guys. If any of you are watching right now, we're just so proud of you and just so proud of all that you're doing. I forgot my mom and dad. My mom and dad are 87 years of age, and I guarantee they're in church today at the Baptist Church in Kernersville, North Carolina, and I'm so proud of them. I mean, I just want to say, Mom and Dad, you need to be more careful. Make sure you always, and they do wear their mask, but they can't stay away from church. And so I just want to say to all of you, welcome, 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 welcome. And then all of you on Daybreak Live, welcome to you. Thank you for checking this out today. Now, I'm going to switch gears here. We have, I think, the most generous church. I know there's other churches. Some of you are thinking about other churches. Most generous church in America today. And this week, I was just kind of listing some of the things that I'm very much aware of that you guys have given and been a part of. And I'm just going to turn around here for a moment and look at this beautiful LED wall. Isn't this a beautiful wall today? I love the wall. You gave 513 pizzas to doctors and nurses at Spectrum, Metro, and St. Mary's to bless them. And we've had so many kind notes sent back from various people, nurses and doctors, saying, thank you, Daybreakers. Thank you for what you've done for us, praying for us and remembering us. 516 Krispy Kreme donuts. Doesn't that sound good right now? A Krispy Kreme donut. I went over there the other day and bought a dozen. For 50 school teachers that we just wanted to say, thank you, school teachers, for all you're doing right now. 135 bags of groceries to people that might not have the same kind of means right now that they did. Groceries, here's hand to hand that we support 65 families. 114 games for kids at Godfrey Lee schools that are without things that would bless them. 5,000 for supplies for Godfrey Lee. Look at this one at the bottom left here. $120,000 has just gone to put in 12 new wells in Sierra Leone in just the next few months. Thank you, guys. I mean, this is just wonderful. $1,000 for World Hope and the hurricane that we had. $16,000 for COVID gifts. $25,000 for Easttown Church, that church back out there in the Bay Area. Free pizza. We just learned of this one this week. Thank you, Jets Pizza. Thank you guys for all that you do. They've given thousands. We didn't know this till this week. All of the pizza, don't get any ideas here. All of the thousands of dollars of pizza for student ministries, thank you. He said, he brought all the receipts in and said, I'm not going to charge for any of them. I'm going to give them to Daybreak. And then that carpet you're looking at, this is a Christmas gift right down here. There's a beautiful, I'm not going to say air conditioner, heater that's up there today, brand new, $25,000. Some of you are looking, is it hanging? No, it's on top. And then we have a beautiful, massive surveillance system, security system. You got to be careful now what you're doing here in this building. These are Christmas gifts from you guys. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart by demonstrating such generosity, and especially here at the end of the year. Thank you for your year-end giving. Thank you for your offerings, your tithes to make this church go. Let's give a cheer for that. Yay! Woo! Wow. And I'm out of breath. All right. I remember a long time ago thinking about the first gift that was given to me. And I was going to get up in the attic yesterday and got so busy I never looked the gift up. It's still in a box. But it was I was 8 years old, and it was a little monkey that you cranked it up, and he would sit there and pound a drum. My grandmother got that for me. I've kept it all these years. It's very I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's a very special gift. You wind it up. Dun, 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 kind of like these guys back here. Maybe a little bit better than that. Do you ever remember a gift like that? One that was very special to you and just lived in your heart? I think today of the gift that God gave to us. When I read chapter 1 of Matthew, verse 22 through 23, this is a gift. And God says to us, I want to give you this gift because I love you and I care about you and I want to do special things in your life. It's the gift of Emmanuel. I want to bless you. I remember hearing this story and thinking, this is amazing to me, that God loved us so much that he gave us his son, Jesus Christ. Back a few years ago, I was invited to be a part of a team to go to Baghdad, Mosul, several other cities in Iraq, just sort of at the beginning of the war there. I didn't know the other three guys that I was a part of the team, but one was from Nigeria, a couple from Canada, and here's Wes from America. Found out later there was $25,000 on my head. If they could capture me, nobody's going to capture me, but they said if they get Wes, he's an American, $25,000. I've reminded Claudia that several times. That Claudia, I'm worth $25,000. I didn't know I was worth anything. $25,000. But I was traveling around Iraq, and I remember one day I was just kind of looking around, and I saw this. I saw it on a table. It caught my attention because it was the last place on earth that I would expect to find a cross, in Iraq. I asked the people where I was at, I said, could I buy this from you? They said, oh no, you can't do that. We want to give it to you. And they gave me this cross. I'll never forget that moment. If you analyze this cross here, there's some blue tape and some yellow tape on top of a piece of tin that they have folded over, put some little tacks in it. Very precious cross to these people. I've kept that cross. I have it in my office, and each Sunday it reminds me of what Jesus means. It's all about the cross. The cross. That Jesus was sent here to earth by his Father to accomplish one thing, to say to you, I love you. His horizontal message is, I love you. His vertical message is, coming down from heaven, my Son is sent to show you I love you. There was a 9-year-old boy who heard about a revival in his community. And so he went to it. It was under a big tent there down the road a couple of miles, and he would walk every night, a 9-year-old kid. His mom and dad were not believers. They would go to church occasionally, maybe on Easter and Christmas, but they were not believers. They were good people, but not believers. Nobody in his family were believers. But this 9-year-old boy, he would go night after night, and after about the third or fourth night, there was a soldier from Fort Knox. He was in his full army uniform, and he was there to sing that night. And he walked up to this little boy who was 9 years of age in ragged blue jeans, and he said to him, young man, do you know Jesus? Just like that, out of the blue, before the service started. And this little 9-year-old boy said, no, I don't, mister. And he said to this 9-year-old boy, he said, well, I'm going to pray for you tonight that you give your life to Jesus. That 9-year-old boy listened to the 19-year-old evangelist that night by the name of Rupert Goodman. That soldier, his name was Bruce Meads. And that night, that 9-year-old boy who was standing at the edge of the tent outside, because he wasn't sure that, he could come in, but he stood out there. And that night, when the 19-year-old evangelist says, I want to invite anyone who wants to know Christ to come forward, that 9-year-old boy walked down the aisle, and he came up to the little stage there, and he knelt. And that night, that man from Fort Knox, he came up to him, he laid his hand on this 9-year-old boy, and he prayed for him that night that he'd give his life to Jesus. He was so excited. He went home and told his mom and dad. A few weeks later, his mom gave her life to Christ. It wasn't long after that, his sister gave her life to Christ. It wasn't long until he was being invited different places as a 10-year-old to share his testimony. And at 14, his mom helped him pack his one little suitcase and took him to Louisville, Kentucky, to the railroad station. And there she put him on a train, 14 years of age, because he said, I want to share the story about the cross. And that 14-year-old from Louisville, Kentucky, went all the way up to Indianapolis. He didn't know anybody, and he enrolled in a private Christian Bible school by the name of Frankfurt. And there he began to study, had no money, and had to work really hard to pay his way through. Worked his way through this Bible academy and then on to college to do one thing: to present the story that I'm holding in my hands from Baghdad, Iraq. As Jeff was saying a while ago, it's the most powerful story in all of the world. The calendars changed, people's lives changed, countries changed. Churches were built all over the world. Some went underground. 150 million people are in underground churches just in the country of China because it's against the law to worship God publicly. This cross, this little cross, homemade, represents Christmas, the story of Jesus. By the way, that 9-year-old boy, you've already heard the story if you've not read the book, is my dad. And every time I share that story, I think I would not be here. I would not be preaching about the cross today if it wasn't for my dad as a 9-year-old boy who had the courage to step out after a gentleman spoke to him about, you need Jesus, I would not be here. Later on, when my dad was preaching literally around the world, he was 25 years of age, and in one of his own meetings, he saw his dad out of the corner of his eyes, back in the corner of another tent. And that night, his dad, 65 years of age, waited till he was 65. He came forward that night and gave his life to Christ. My dad fasted every Friday for 15 years for his dad, that he would get saved and come to know what this cross is all about. My dad's preached to literally millions of people face to face. He has seen hundreds of thousands come to know Christ because of this cross. He has preached John 3:16, no telling how many times. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son. His only son, not one of several, just one. For God loved you and me, that whosoever what? Believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. He doesn't want anybody to perish. And then he tells us over in another book in the New Testament, the Bible's in two big books, the Old Testament, the New Testament. Old Testament is BC, before Christ. AD is after Christ. And he says this, for everyone has sinned. Everyone has fallen short of God's glorious ideal, his standard. In other words, we've all sinned. We've all been born sinners. Everybody, doesn't matter how religious, how many times you've gone to church, how many times you've been baptized. We're all sinners. And he says, we're short of where God says you need to be to spend eternity with him in heaven. But he says this. He says this later on in Romans 6:23, for the wages of sin is death. That means not just physical death, but separation from God eternally. He doesn't make that decision. We do. God sends no one to hell. God sends no one away. We make that decision. He gives the choice to us. But he says, what you've done all of your life, your wages of sin will keep you separated from God eternally. That's what it means. That's what death is, spiritual death. But he says this, I want to give you eternal life through my son, Jesus Christ. He says to us, if you'll just simply say, Jesus, come into my heart, I'll come in. That's what happened to my dad when he was 9. That's what happened to me many, many years ago. That's what happened to Claudia when she was only 17, a high school student who says, Wes, I want what you got. I said, you can find what I've got. It's through Jesus and the cross of Christ. That's what her brother prayed to receive. My brother prayed to receive. My sons prayed to receive. Let me ask you a question today. I'm not talking about more religion. Religion doesn't work. It might kind of help you a little bit with behavior, but until it gets on the inside and changes the inside out, there's no lasting impact. There's no lasting power to it. It's when you say, Jesus, I'm a sinner. Come into my heart. This is what Christmas is about. I want to know you. I want to know you. Like 12 people last weekend in this church and on Daybreak Live and student ministries came to know Jesus here at this church last week. 12 people got saved last week. Yeah, go ahead. I just celebrate that. And that can happen to you today. You that are watching Daybreak Live, right there in your kitchen, right there in your living room, or maybe you're driving. I hope you're not just watching the service. I hope you're watching the car in front of you. But you can just say, Jesus, come to my life. I want all of you to do something with me today. We're almost finished. I want you to pray a prayer out loud. You may be a Christ follower, but I still want you to pray it just as a great reminder of what he's done. And if you don't know Christ right now, watching Daybreak Live or right here, I want you to pray this prayer. And if you really mean it in your heart, and you really mean what this cross is about, he'll come in today. Just say, Jesus. Just say it right now. Jesus, I invite you into my heart. I want to live for you. I know you died for me. Save me. Thank you. Just say it out loud. Thank you. Thank you for the Christmas message. Say that. Thank you for the Christmas message. You say, Wes, is it that simple? Folks, it is that simple. We make it complicated, but it's simple. If you prayed that prayer, you've been saved. Those of you that are watching Daybreak Live, there's a little place down there at the bottom of the screen. You can just go there and just touch that and say, today I got saved. I gave my life to Christ. Go to the room over there, the prayer room, and if you need a Bible, let us know. We'll get a Bible to you. Anybody here today, if you need a Bible, we'll give you a Bible free. Wherever you're watching from, maybe another city, another state, this next Sunday, find a church that you can go to and start going. Tell somebody about your new faith. We're going to close with one of my favorite songs. I want you to listen to the words as Peggy lifts our voices together and just giving God praise. Listen right now.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel voices. Oh, night divine. Oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine. Oh, night divine. He taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chains shall break, the slaves will and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we, let all within us praise his holy name. Christ is the Lord.
Thank you all. You've given us such a beautiful Christmas gift today, and our hearts have been warmed. I mean that. We love what we've heard and seen today. Yeah, come on out here. Anybody else back there, Lou? Yeah. Thank you. I mean that. Such a wonderful gift. Oh boy.
And just sing in our house.
She's inviting all of them to come to our house today after the service is over.
Sure.
Well, we actually we have some leftovers from last night.
We do.
We had Chad, Sarah, and their family at our house, and we zoomed it to San Francisco and had that clan watching. So what you guys, there's some leftovers. So you,
We will do this. We will.
he's ready. He's
Oh,
in.
All you gotta say is food.
you
Yeah.
guys are great. I love them.
Want to thank you and wish you guys a wonderful Christmas. Did you want to say anything?
Yes. When Christ was born, we were given hope because of his birth and the gift of salvation. And I'm just thinking of this season that we do have hope.
That's right.
No matter what we've been through, what we may be going through, but we have hope
Hope over fear.
and we have Jesus, right?
That's right.
And I just want to say Merry Christmas to all of you. And I hope it's one of your greatest Christmases you've ever had.
Yeah.
And I want you to know that Wes and I love Daybreak. We love our church. I'm just so blessed to have a Daybreak in my life.
So Merry Christmas. Thank you for coming today. God bless you that are on Daybreak Live. Have a wonderful Christmas. And we're getting ready to start a brand new series, That One Thing That Will Change Your Life. We'll start that the first Sunday in January. God bless all of you. Have a wonderful day. Merry Christmas.